This is the #1 spot to learn drift in Horizon 5, and this is why. You come down this road with your stock FD350Z and find a roundabout. While turning, you accelerate and find yourself sliding. With a swift countersteer, your drift is carried out indefinitely, so long as you stay in the circle. Problem is, when you're drifting, you're all over the place. And also, that 350Z was me back in Horizon 3. Over the years, I've come to learn the Drift King initiations, the techniques from Initial D, but what I wish someone had told me back when I started is that everything you need to know was already taught by Karate Kid.
Jacket on.
I don't have a jacket.
Jacket on.
Back then, I was watching drifters and drift gamers and I decided I wanted to do it too. However, I didn't have a wheel. I really wanted to drift, badly, to have fun doing it and be like the stars. Luckily, Forza Horizon is a great game to learn drifting on a controller, and I had one, so I tried it out and it was really difficult. I just couldn't do it at all, but I was not willing to give up. Days later, what I come to know was that for a given gas position and a given counter steering angle, your car is gonna drift around a circumference with a given radius. That was the key for me to control my drifts. That radius, however, can change, and that change alters the circle size. Now, if you do it while you're drifting, you go from one circle to another. Your car is gonna leave the balance point and it's gonna turn and then point to the inside or to the outside, just like my parents did on my 42nd birthday. So I had a basic understanding of how to change direction while drifting, but I didn't know exactly what that translated to in terms of gas and steering. But I wouldn't give up. Whatever it took, I was destined to go through and learn drifting. If I didn't learn it, I just wouldn't have the fun times all my heroes had, and ultimately, I would be really sad. Motivated by that, I got into the mid-circle, and by playing around a bit with the controls, I noticed that to keep myself in that mid-sized circle, I was fluctuating about a midpoint in the steering wheel and also in the gas pedal. At that moment, I decided I wanted to go to the inner circle. To accomplish that, I knew I had to play either with the accelerator or the steering wheel. Actually, there was a third way, and that was through the back door. But when I gave the car just a little bit more gas, the rear end started to slide out and the front stayed put, angling the car towards the inner circle and sending me there. Once I got the gas down, I tried doing it with the steering. What I did was steer in just a little bit, which was actually removing some counter steer, which made the front go in, the rear stay put, angling me towards the inner circle and also taking my car to the inside. It was at this moment that I noticed a pattern. If, for whatever reason, my car's angle increased, the circle would decrease immediately. And the opposite was also true. If I lifted or added counter steer, the radius would increase and the car would go outside. But I actually didn't tell you the most important part of the story, and that is that I struggled a lot to get this down. And to finally be able to do it, I practiced a ton. Seriously, a lot. I tried 10, 100, 1,000 times, and nothing would happen. Try spin, try crash, try blow up, and out of nowhere, perfect drift. Bam! I was euphorically jubilant. I suddenly knew how to drift, and then this happened. I was devastated, but if I gave up, I couldn't achieve my personal goal. I would feel useless and weak, even handicapped. So I tried again and again, jacket on, jacket off, until I could finally consistently hold my drifts. By the way, it took weeks upon weeks of consistent and deliberate practice to achieve it. And that's because drifting has many inputs and just a few outputs. If someone had told me what I'm gonna tell you now, it would have made the process a whole lot faster. And this is it. Because there are two causes for the car's angle to change, try locking in one variable and then playing with the other. Try holding the gas 80% in, then steer in, steer out. When you're comfortable, try adding the accelerator to the mix and see what happens, have fun. I can't stress this enough. This is one of the hardest steps in drifting, and many people give up here. You will feel frustrated, even angry, but don't give up. And while you're trying and trying, out of nowhere, you're gonna hit a perfect drift, and it's gonna feel amazing. But when that happens, keep practicing. When I got my first drift down, I couldn't even get it right again. So I had to rethink everything I did to get there to get it right a second time. It's crazy. And by the way, I was almost forgetting, the location I'm talking about is just southwest of the festival, right here. And when you're ready, go to location number 2, which is in this video, to further master your drifting skills.